Hello friends and welcome back. Today I wanted to talk to you about something that I just absolutely love, and that is crystals. I have seen a lot of different recommendations for crystals, and a very popular one, especially in the law of attraction or manifestation community, is citrine. And now there's a lot of misconceptions out there about citrine, and I just wanted to talk about that real quick and kind of shed light onto a somewhat controversial topic, and that is real citrine versus man-made citrine. So in front of me I have two different kinds of citrine. And citrine is a great stone for manifestation, for increasing your willpower, your creativity. It is a wonderful stone to work with, especially if you're feeling blocked in the solar plexus region or the third chakra region. It also helps to connect with the third eye. So it is quite often considered a very powerful stone within the manifestation and the law of attraction community. But as you can probably tell just by looking at these stones, they are quite different. One is a natural citrine, and one is actually a heat-treated amethyst. I'm going to give you a few seconds and let me know down in the comments below what you think is which. This is stone A. Is this heat-treated or natural? Stone B, heat-treated or natural? Let me know down in the comments. So I personally only own these two specimens of citrine. I have seen a lot more. It was actually a very hot commodity at the last gem and mineral show that I went to. It seemed like there was citrine everywhere, both man-made and natural. So let's see, did you get it right? This is natural citrine, and this is actually baked amethyst. So I actually have some amethysts as well, which I wanted to show you. So this first stone is actually, it's kind of bordering between smoky quartz and amethyst. It is very, very light purple. I don't know if the camera will pick it up. But it is just a very light purple. This is more of a traditional amethyst geode, and this is a piece that has come off of an amethyst geode, and this one is actually a very dark purple. So now the reason I wanted to show you that is because this was once probably about this color. By putting this into a kiln or even an oven, if you have an oven that goes really, really hot, you can transform these into something like this. Now, I personally wouldn't recommend it. I am not a scientist. I don't know what kind of fumes or anything this might put off if you put it in the oven, so I wouldn't actually do it. But that's how they make them. They literally bake these. And now this little piece of, it is still citrine. This little piece of citrine is actually quite fragile. There used to be a lot more points on it, but they have actually flaked off because heating it like this makes it a lot more fragile. So let's put the amethyst away. Back to the citrine. So this is a natural citrine, and this is a very light yellow color. I have seen some that are more this color, more of a smoky amber, and I found that a lot of the darker natural citrines that I found, they're still this kind of shape, but they can have this darker color. I actually have not found, I mean, let me know down in the comments below if you have, but I personally have not found a natural citrine in a matrix like this. I have seen natural citrines like this one that have little baby citrines growing off of them. It's got a different kind of matrix structure. You don't find them in the geodes like this. At least I haven't seen them. I've seen, you know, the bigger points with a bunch of little baby citrines around them, and those are so beautiful. I would love to actually add one of those to my collection one day, but for now, these are the two that I have. And now, the most difficult part. Can you work with the fake citrine? Is this worth it? Should you buy this? So, my answer is yes and no. If you want to get into working with citrine and you can't find or you can't afford natural citrine, this is still a very powerful stone. This is still a stone that I would recommend. This is actually where I started off. I've owned this specimen for probably 7 years now. And like I said, when I first got this, it actually had a lot more citrine coloring along on the top, but it has flaked off because it is a little fragile because of the heat treating process that it went through. And now I would much prefer to save up my money, go to a gem show, because I do find you the best deals at gem shows. You also can talk directly to the people, find out where they came from. This stone came from Brazil, but you can get better deals at gem shows. So I personally would save up a bit more and buy this. For the record, I mean, I think this stone cost twice as much as this one. And in terms of weight, this one is quite a bit more substantial. I should have actually weighed them, but they are about the same size, but this one does feel quite a bit heavier. Some of the darker citrine, because it is a little more rare to find the dark citrine, does go for a little bit more money. I actually was talking to a wonderful seller who had a whole bunch of smoky citrine that was really dark, like an amber color, from, I think he said it was from Zambia, and it was so beautiful. Like, I wanted to take his whole collection home. He had a chunk that was about this big, and I'm not even going to tell you how much it cost because I could not afford it, but it was beautiful. So, but in terms of working with the crystals, I personally feel that the energy of the natural citrine is stronger than the energy of the heat-treated citrine or the lab-made citrine. But again, if you're just starting out, and especially if you're not that in tune with connecting to the energy in crystals, this is a completely satisfactory crystal to work with. I worked with this one for years, and I just upgraded about 2 years ago to this one, okay? So you can use either stone. There is no judgment from me as to which stone is better. My personal preference is the natural versus the man-made, but depending on what you want to use it for, sometimes the man-made is actually a better stone for what you want to use it for. I know some people who much prefer the heat-treated or the man-made citrine. Some people just prefer the look. Some people prefer the deep, rich colors that you can get in the man-made citrine. And that's really a matter of personal preference, especially if you're just using this stone as a decoration. I mean, go ahead and buy the man-made citrine. I think the biggest issue with real versus fake or natural versus heat-treated citrine is that stores and resellers don't tell you what it is. This is still a very powerful stone. This is still a great stone to work with. But if you were sold this, or if you bought this under the assumption that this was real natural citrine, then you've been misled. A lot of the times when you buy from, say, a new age shop or just a reseller, they might not even know that this isn't natural. They just like selling crystals and they don't really know that much about crystals, especially if you're, say, in a witchy shop. The person behind the counter might be really intelligent, say, about tarot cards or incense or, whatever their cultural tradition might be. And they might not know about crystals, and they sell you this as citrine. It's no fault to them because it's sometimes hard to tell the difference. But the people selling to those shops really should be disclosing whether they have treated the amethyst and are now selling citrine, or if it is natural citrine, which is also why I really highly recommend going to a gem and mineral show and talking to wholesalers, talking to suppliers, people who actually know and can trace the origin of the crystals they are selling. Now, sometimes it does get a little bit harder when you're talking about stones that have been passed down through generations. Sometimes you don't know where those came from. Not so much in my experience with citrine, but some other stones, you just don't know because they've been passed down and you can't track the mine where it came from or who dug it up. So anyway, that is my comparison, and I hope this enlightened you as to the difference between natural and man-made citrine. So in my next video, I am going to actually talk more about the properties of citrine and how to use it for manifestation, in meditation, as well as magical workings. So if you like the sound of that, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you see the next video on citrine. Love, light, and happiness to all of you. Have a fantastic day. Bye.